Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We are in the middle of the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We already completed 40 shlokas. And from 41st shloka till 48th shloka, Krishna describes various prescribed duties in Varnashrama system. So far in this chapter, in the first 12 shlokas, Krishna described how one can be freed from material bondage by performing karma yoga. And later, in the next 5 shlokas, he described the 5 factors of action. And later how the material modes control all our activities. He described from 18th shloka till 40th shloka. Okay. So, a person does karma under the material modes, under the influence of material modes. But if a person does karma with detachment, then that kind of karma will not create bondage for him. And the detached spirit of working also includes understanding of the 5 factors of action. I am not the only doer. Means you are detached from the results, that is fine. But you should also be detached from a conception of being the doer of activity. I am not the performer. I am not the only performer. So there are many other causes of action. So all that we discussed in detail in the previous sessions. Now, Krishna describes the specific duties of different types of people in this world. A civilized society is divided into 4 sections: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So, Krishna describes what are the duties. 41st shloka. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham
Brahmana Kshatriya Visham
Sudranam cha parantapa
Sudranam cha parantapa
Karmani pravibhaktani Svabhava prabhavair gunaihi.
Svabhava prabhavair gunaihi.
So, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras are distinguished based on the qualities that they exhibit because of their own Swabhava. Swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. So they manifest it in qualities because of their own nature. So that decides them whether they are Brahmanas or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas or Shudras. Not according to birth exactly. What are the qualities of Brahmanas? 42nd shloka. Krishna says, Shamodamastapashaucham Shantir arjavamevacham Jnanam vijnanamastikhyam Brahma karma svabhavajam Shama dama tapaha shaucham. Shama is peace, being very peaceful and self-control. Dama, self-control. Shama, dama are also used to indicate sense control and mind control. Okay. Basically self-control, being unagitated. Tapaha is austerity. Shaucha is cleanliness. Kshanti, tolerance. Arjavam, simplicity or honesty. Being very straightforward, not being duplicitous or diplomatic. Gnanam vijnanam astikyam. Gnanam is knowledge, vijnanam is realization of that knowledge or wisdom. Astikyam, righteousness, religiousness. So, Brahma karma svabhavajam. These are the natural qualities of a Brahmana. If a person exhibits these qualities, he may be considered a Brahmana. Although a person is born in a Brahmana family, if he does not have these qualities, he is not a bona fide Brahmana. Such people are called Brahma Bandhus. We discussed in our Bhagavatam classes also. 43rd shloka. Shauryam tejo dhritirdakshyam Yuddhe chapyapalayanam Dhanam Ishvara Bhavascha
Dhanamishvara bhavascha
Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam
Kshatram karma swabhavajam
Shauryam. These are the qualities of Kshatriyas. Shaurya means heroism. Teja, power. Dharti, determination to achieve things. Determination to conquer enemies. Okay. Dakshyam means expertise or resourcefulness. Yuddhecha api apalayanam. In a war, in a battle, a Kshatriya will never show his back. He will not run away from the battlefield. If you run away from battlefield out of fear or cowardice, you are not considered a bona fide Kshatriya. Fine. Next, Deenam Ishvara Bhavasya. Dhanam Ishvara Bhavasya. Dhanam means being charitable, generous. Ishvara Bhava means a controllership mentality or leadership qualities. That's a better way of putting it. But in leadership, there is some control also. You need to control people with a positive intent, of course. Not just to boss over people to exploit them, but to control people from doing any bad activities. Okay, leader needs that kind of control. Then Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam. These are the various qualities of Kshatriyas. Clear? Next, what about Vaishyas and Shudras? Krishna describes in the 44th sloka. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Sudrasyapi Swabhavajam Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. Krishi is agriculture. Goraksha is cow protection. Vanijyam is business. These are the qualities of Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. Okay. And Paricharyatmakam Karma. To serve the other three classes of society is the nature of Shudras. Shudras themselves may not be able to take initiatives. They are not that advanced in their knowledge. So the Shudras will serve the upper classes, higher classes. So labor and service to other varnas is the activity of Shudra. Now it's not about suppressing one caste and artificially elevating another caste. It's according to their qualities. There are always a class of people who are very intellectual, who are very educated, who are naturally inclined towards education, knowledge, very simple-hearted and peaceful, self-controlled, austere, etc. Such people are naturally Brahmanas, intellectual class. Kshatriyas are the administrative class. Some people are always into managing things, coordinating things, leading people. So they are naturally Kshatriyas. And some people are there, they are always thinking in terms of profits. Okay, trade, business. They are Vaishyas. And there are some people who are very simple. They may not be able to take things, they may not be able to take many initiatives. So they just serve under others. Somebody will lead, somebody will give an idea, they will work according to that idea. That way. So in any social system, these four classes are there. Fine. So whether you call them with the names Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or not, that's up to you. But Krishna has divided the human society in these four divisions means it exists. Naturally it exists. And Brahmanas are predominantly in Sattva-guna. And Kshatriyas are predominantly in Rajo-guna, passion. And also Sattva-guna is there in them, but that is secondary. Passion is more, goodness is less. But in Vaishyas, passion is more, and Tamo-guna is also there, but that is little less. And Shudras are predominantly in Tamo-guna, and little passion is also there as a secondary mode. So like that, people who are influenced by lower modes are in lower castes. It's all about the qualities of person, not exactly according to the birth. It's not a birthright. Caste is not birthright. Caste is actually according to one's qualities. Right? 45th shloka. Sve sve karmanyabhiratah samsiddhim labhate naraham swakarmaniratah siddham yatha vindanti tachruno. So after describing the prescribed duties of these 4 varnas, Krishna recommends that one should follow one's prescribed work according to one's qualities. By following your particular duty, you will become perfect. Now, you are predominantly in mode of ignorance, and you cannot actually intellectually conceive things or take any lead. You are Sudra qualities. You can't artificially take up the dress of a king and from today onwards I will rule this world. You cannot do justice to it. Or from tomorrow onwards I will teach. I am a Brahman, I will become a Brahman and I will teach. You should have the Brahmanical qualities to be able to teach, right? So like that, it's not artificially dominating one class of, one section of society. That's not the Vedic system there. It's according to one's qualities, and whatever is prescribed to certain class according to the Vedic scriptures, one should just follow that. That way one can become perfect and purified. Krishna says, Yataha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindanti manavaha. So by worshipping the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, one can attain perfection by performing one's work. See, yataha pravrittir bhutanam, whatever may be your duty, just stick to that. Okay. Yena sarvamidam tatam, everybody, it applies to everyone. Then swakarmana tam abhyarcha, by doing your own activities, your prescribed activities, tam abhyarcha, worship the Supreme Lord. Then siddhim vindanti manavaha, every human being can attain perfection in this way. So Krishna is again recommending stick to your prescribed duties. Earlier also Krishna said these things. Chaturvarna maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasa, he said it in which chapter? 4th chapter, right? Then he also spoke about, what is that shloka? Where you have to stick to your duty only and not take to someone else's duties. Swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavavaha. That is shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharma svanushtita. Swadharme nidhanam shreya. Just better stick to your duty. Fine. The worship consists of offering the work in mind, thinking by this work may the Lord be satisfied. Next. Now, 47th shloka, Krishna speaks that, Krishna again repeats that shloka. Swara, what is that? Shreyan Swadharma Viguna shloka. Because the duties of Kshatriyas and others are composed of lower gunas, should everyone perform duties of Brahmanas in Sattva Guna? So Sattva Guna is best of the 3 modes, fine. Brahmana is the best of all the 4 castes, fine. So if everyone tries to be the best and then say, I will act like a Brahmana, okay, then what is wrong with it? Then Krishna says in the 47th shloka, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat svabhavaniyatam karma kurvan napnoti kilbisham. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. Vigunaha, a person who is intelligent, he will stick to his own swadharma, his own prescribed duties. Paradharmat svanushthitat, suanushthitat. He will not perform someone else's duty perfectly. I can do his duty perfectly. For example, Kshatriya, Arjuna says, I am a Kshatriya, but I will do the duty of a Brahmana perfectly. I will go and beg. No, instead of doing his duty perfectly, better you do your duty imperfectly. You are a civil engineering student and you want to sit in computer science engineering class. I know computers well. Yes. You may be more familiar and more interested and more excited with computers than those people who are sitting in computer science engineering class. But still, if you have registered for a civil engineering class, civil engineering degree, better you stick to that and then take your, what is that called? You know that scales are there, right? I forgot all those names. Drafter, engineering calculator. So many things are there, many years back. So basically one needs to stick to one's duty. Then what about training? Yes. If you are trained in Brahmanical culture your Swabhava can change. If under the guidance of a pure devotee, if you cultivate mode of goodness, okay, then you can adopt to Brahmanical culture. Prabhupada taught that. Prabhupada did it. So Prabhupada converted so many people in the Western countries into Brahmanas. So he says, we will train Brahmanas. Proper training. They may be born as Shudras, we don't mind. People may be born as Shudras or Vaishyas or Yavanas or Mlechas, whatever it may be. If they are trained under proper guidance, they can become Brahmanas. Okay. So it's not according to one's birth, it's according to one's activities and qualities. So, but for you to claim as a Brahmana, you need to adopt the qualities, imbibe and cultivate the qualities of Brahmanas. Then only you are Brahmana. Okay. So like that. But in all general cases, stick to your duty. So better you do your duties imperfectly than doing someone else's duties perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are not affected by sinful reactions. If you do your duty, you will not be affected. Now, computer science exam is happening. You are a civil engineering student. You go and sit in that exam. I wrote the exam here. You give me pass mark. No, you have to. Your paper is gone. Parallelly, your civil engineering exam is also happening, right? So there are certain strict laws. Whatever is there in that engineering college, that laws, that can be applicable here also. So, no work is abominable if performed in the service of the Supreme Lord. So ultimately, bhakti can purify everything. So one should act to satisfy the Supreme Lord. For example, Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was asked to fight. So on one level, Arjuna is asked to fight because he is a Kshatriya. But on another level, what Arjuna has done is not just the duty of a Kshatriya. It is beyond the Varnashram system only. It is bhakti. He fought because he was a devotee of Krishna, and it will please Krishna if Arjuna fights. Clear? So what the fighting that Arjuna has performed is a part of his bhakti yoga. It doesn't come under his duties as a Kshatriya or any other Varnashram duties. Fine? So ultimately we need to cultivate that attitude of being devoted to Krishna and aligning all one's thoughts and activities in the service of Krishna. So all these varnas and ashramas are existing only to please God. Samsiddhir haritoshanam ataha pumbhir dvijasreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha svanishtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. These four varnas and four ashramas are there only to bring us to God consciousness, only to bring us closer to Krishna. Okay. Next. 48th shloka. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api na tyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agnir iva vrataha sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api na tyajet. Okay. Although your activities may be seemingly having some defects, still it's better you stick to those duties only. For example, a Brahmana is there. Brahmana is supposed to conduct sacrifices. In that sacrifices, sometimes there is animal killing also. Kshatriya is there. He is supposed to be doing administering, okay, management, ruling, controlling people. He has to collect taxes from citizens. If the citizens are doing some adharma, he has to punish the citizens. And if some opposite enemy king is attacking, he has to go and kill those enemies. So killing is involved there. I will not be doing Kshatriya activities. A Kshatriya cannot say that. A Vaishya is there. Vaishya means he has to do business. So while doing business, sometimes he may have to increase the prices and make some profits. For that, sometimes he may have to even speak some exaggerated words also to his customers, right? So these are all bona fide activities under the duties of Kshatriyas. And Shudra is there. The Shudra has to carry out, serve a bad master also. Even the master is bad, still Shudra may have to act as his servant. So there may be some defects in your prescribed duties also. Still, dutifully you have to perform those duties. Okay, one has to perform all those activities. But in the bhakti realm, these duties are very secondary. These are all on a material plane under the influence of modes. But in bhakti, you just do the needful. Now here we are seeing temple, we are doing jhadu puja. Okay, you may call this is Sudra activity. We are washing all the utensils, Sudra activity. We are washing Lord's paraphernalia. It's not Sudra activity or Brahmana activity. You are worshipping the Lord, you are dressing the deities, you are chanting Gayatri, you are cooking for the deities. Okay, so then you are doing management also. Many of us are in management also, we are into teaching also, we are into deity worship also, and we are washing utensils also, we are cutting sabji also, we are packing prasadam also. So there is no varna ashrama business here. There is only bhakti happening. Everything is happening for the pleasure of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas. So this is actually bhakti yoga, which is beyond the external system of varna and ashrama. But for the smooth functioning of the society, these divisions are made. So, but if one is a pure devotee of the Lord, he is on the path of bhakti yoga, so these definitions may not be exactly relevant. Whatever is needed to perform the service of the Lord, a devotee does it. It may or may not be a Brahmanical duty. Okay, you may have to sweep the floors. Brahmanas don't sweep the floors. We will give lectures. No, you go and sweep. No problem. Wash utensils. Clean sewage canals. Menial services. One of the first services that I received, there is public cleaning toilets. When I joined Chopati for 2008. So cleaning toilets was the first service. You are doing? You should do something. You just newly joined. You should start cleaning toilets. Right. So for purification.
First service 1 year. Our temple, Thakur.
We also had this cleaning toilet seva.
We do Karnal. Karnal is compulsory 1 year.
1 year. You did?
Yeah, Mayapur and Vrindavan.
There ho. Oh, Vidyabhushan you are doing, of course. So that will purify one's false ego. So we should not be holding this ego of being a Kshatriya, ego of being a Brahmana, ego of being a very high class merchant, or an inferiority of inferiority complex of being a Shudra. You don't identify with all these designations. They are all external. Yaho Bahya. When Ramananda said that Varnashram system is the topmost thing in the human society, Mahaprabhu said Yaho Bahya. This is external. Or kuch bolo. Just tell me the next proposal. So these designations sometimes induce pride in people, induce envy in people, induce superiority complex or inferiority complex in people, and then make the whole life complex. You just do your duties with detachment according to whatever may be the temporary designation. But understand, these are all temporary designations. This lifetime you are a Kshatriya, next lifetime you could become a Brahmana, or you could become a Shudra, who knows, or you could become an animal. Animal is beyond Varnashram system. Amongst animals there is no Brahmana animal, there is no Kshatriya animal. So all these are not there. So we need to stick to Bhakti Yoga given to us by the Acharyas. That's what Krishna will. Krishna is just speaking all this now in the 18th chapter to summarize whatever he has spoken till now. But ultimately Krishna will conclude, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Varnashram dharma is there. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Okay, this dharma is there, that dharma. Hey, forget all that. Just take my shelter. And do whatever you can stick to your Varnashram duties, not a problem. Right? You can do all your duties as a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or Vaishya or Shudra. That's not the problem. But don't stop there only. Do whatever you are doing to please Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. Okay, surrender unto Krishna and do these duties. So doing these duties is not wrong. But doing these duties only without taking shelter of God, that is wrong. Okay, that is incomplete. Fine. So all endeavors are covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. So one should not give up the work born of his nature, even if it has some fault. So don't give up that thing. So Krishna is just speaking.